What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, Sam Smith was talking about the possibility of Chicago drafting Bronny James and then also possibly luring LeBron James in free agency. Then also, Coby White had a pretty sweet quote talking about Billy Donovan and how he helped him, develop his game from this past season. So I wanted to share that with you guys as well. But it was Sam Smith who talked about Bronny James and his possibility heading to the Chicago Bulls. As he says, I'm not as sanguine about Bronny's prospect as an NBA player, but I know coming off heart issues and all and playing for a bad team can make you look bad. But there's many other issues which suggest it's better to run away from this crazy idea as quickly as you can. This draft, James Jr. and Dad will join him scenario seems doubtful, and that is what a lot of NBA teams are probably considering right now, where it's like, maybe we don't view Bronny James as a first-round prospect, and most people do not. But if you could draft Bronny, and that guarantees you LeBron James possibly comes to your basketball team on a vet min deal, you could make an argument Bronny James could go or should go number one in this year's draft if it guaranteed you that LeBron was going to sign with your team for a veteran minimum deal. But, the stats this past season at USC are ugly. I don't want to dispute that. If you just looked at this and said, is this guy a draft-eligible player, you would say, hell no. The shooting percentage is at 36.6 and 26.7. But the thing is with Bronny James and, why I am starting to, believe in him as a prospect is, I believe Bronny James is one of those players where, he has it already instilled in him. He already has the good basketball kind of qualities that you would want in a winning basketball player, where he plays the right way. He makes that extra pass. He dives on the floor for loose balls. And if you just look at the skill side of the game, he has shown that ability. He was a McDonald's All-American for a reason. And I think Sam Smith made a great point about the heart issues and then also playing for a bad team. He was dealing with that throughout the whole preseason and all the practices leading up to the regular season is the heart issues. And then you got on a USC team where they just played a AAU brand of basketball with Isaiah Collier. He was taking most of the shots. It was just an ugly performance and an ugly just team that USC put out there this season. So I think it was tough to get a true evaluation on who Bronny could be, this past year. But Bronny talked about some comparisons that he had for himself heading into the NBA. And he mentioned two guys, Drew Holiday and Derek White. And I think this is awesome from Bronny, showing great self-awareness in his game. Because if I had to say who are his ceiling comparisons, like max potential Bronny James in the league, it's probably around the likes of a Drew Holiday and a Derek White, where they're still more defensive-minded players, undersized guards that may not have the shooting ability like a Steph Curry, but they impact the game on an incredibly high level. Now, more on Bronny than I want to get to. And he did not shoot the ball well this past season at USC. He was 9 of 46 on catch-and-shoot three-point opportunities, which was just under 20%. But when he was at the draft combine, he lit it up in a shooting drill. The one thing I don't love about his jump shot, it is a very slow process. Like, he has to really take his time to get to that set on his jumper. But once he gets there, he shoots it at a high clip. And I think he was just sped up this past season at USC. And we were kind of talking about his defensive potential here a little bit, but I think he's got max, like, all NBA type of defensive potential here heading into the league. And, a big reason for that is just his measurables. He's got almost a 6'8" wingspan, coming in at 6'2", has a really strong chest. He's great at cutting defenders or offensive players off when they're trying to turn that corner. And he's just a smart defender as well. Like, countless times I saw on his tape from his USC days where Bronny was just reading a passing lane, getting a hand on a basketball, and just making that extra defensive effort. And I think that is, one of the things I look at the most when I'm evaluating defensive players heading into the league. But I do think if there's one thing, besides shooting that I would want to improve in Bronny's game, it's got to be his handle. Since he is going to be undersized in the league, like, he is going to need to have a quick move to beat people off his dribble besides just his athleticism, because he is a freak athlete. He does have that blow-by ability, but he's just going to need to add more, a more refined handle into his arsenal, to obviously, take that next step. And also this, only 22.8% of his shots came at the rim this past season. Bronny, he is a great athlete. That needs to get up higher. That should be around 40%. I understand with USC's offense, what they like to do, they like to shoot over the top of the defense. However, with just his personnel, his athleticism, and what he likes to do, I think getting to the rim could be something that, could take him to, maybe it's a 6-point a game guy in the NBA to like a 10-point a game guy. I think that's something he's going to want to put, more emphasis on. And, the thing about Bronny, he just plays winning basketball. And I think that's been under talked about amongst NBA media circles and just media members is, they just view, Bronny as this, almost like an AAU style player. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. Like, I understand, like, you don't want to put too much into his dad being LeBron James, but you can't tell me that does not matter. His dad, in my opinion, is one of the smartest basketball minds in NBA history. And you're telling me he doesn't have just a little bit of that in himself? I just think that's ludicrous. So that was more on Bronny, but also Sam Smith did talk about LeBron possibly heading to Chicago if they were to draft Bronny. He said, it seems unlikely LeBron would leave LA. Hey, he turned down the chance before to be in Chicago, and that was to play with D Rose, Noah, Dang, and D Wade. And though LeBron is still playing at an amazingly high level with Anthony Davis, he still was a seventh place team, and he will be 40 in December. I know the Bulls seem to operate short term, but that would be ridiculous. And yes, it would be ridiculous to draft Bronny and bring in LeBron, but this would be such a Bulls move. Like, if this was, out of all the possibilities that could happen this offseason with the Chicago Bulls, like trading LaVine, trading Vooch, like, I could see them drafting Bronny and trying to lure LeBron James as high up there as a possibility that could happen this offseason. So I wouldn't draft Bronny in the first round, but if the Bulls traded back up into the second and maybe you got him at, pick 50 or whatever it may be, I would actually be thrilled about it because I really do I believe in him as a prospect heading into the NBA. But you guys let me know, would you draft Bronny James? Give me a D for draft or give me a P for pass down in the comment section. I'll make this the pinned comment on today's show. So if YouTube throws you an ad break right now, sit back, let it play, and let me know your thoughts on if you would draft Bronny James. Now, Coby White was praising Billy Donovan. This was coming in from an interview from a couple days ago, and he was just talking about, his leap from last year to this past season where he actually took the NBA by storm, and he gave a lot of credit to his head coach, Billy Donovan. This is what he had to say. He says, I think I just got more of an opportunity to take advantage of. Over the summer, Billy Donovan came to me and told me he believed in me, and he had confidence in me. That meant the world to me. He believed in me, and he's continued to coach me and push me to be the player I'm forcing him to play and that I want to become. He's always said he's not going to stop coaching me until I become what I want to become. And I absolutely love this from Coby White. And a lot of Bulls fans think, Billy Donovan is the number one issue with the Chicago Bulls, and I just think it's ludicrous because, I think roster construction and just overall roster fit is the number one reason why the Bulls have been stuck in the play-in tournament for the past couple of years. It's not on coaching. Yes, could Billy Donovan be better? Could he get more out of this roster? I think to a certain extent, but even the max potential of this Bulls team was still a first-round exit in about 4 or 5 games. Like, I don't think the front office was giving Billy D enough to work with. But in terms of him instilling confidence in Coby White and kind of helping him take that next step, I absolutely love to hear it because, numbers don't lie. And, I was a little bit of down on Coby White heading into this past season because he was coming off his worst year of his NBA career. In 2022, only averaging 9 points a game. Didn't really see that playmaking ability with his assists still being below 3 a night. But after LaVine got hurt, and his usage rate went up, and his shots per game went up. He was almost averaging 20 a night, 5.1 assists, and incredibly efficient, one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. And I thought Coby White, he should have been most improved player because he made a name for himself this season. We knew what Tyrese Maxey was heading into the year, and he took another massive leap as well. But we didn't really know if Coby White was going to be a true guy in the league. Now we know he's going to be a 20-point-a-game guy for the rest of his career, and I think he's going to make the All-Star game next season. I think we're going to see Coby White average around 24, 25 points a game, average around 6 or 7 assists, and take that next step. Now, the Bulls are probably going to have to help him out and move off guys like DeMar and Zach LaVine so he takes his usage rate even to another level, but I believe that could be a scenario for Coby White. And also a little stat I saw on NBA.com. They do a great job of breaking out each and every play from this past season. But Coby White's points per pick and roll when he was the ball handler, he did average .93, which was in the 70th percentile in the entire league. which I think just, with, how high of a usage rate he had on pick and rolls, I think it was pretty damn impressive that he was still one of the best in the entire NBA. So I want to close today's show off by showing Coby White some love as, he is, well, by far my favorite player on the Chicago Bulls. Love to see the development that he has had throughout his NBA career. So show him some love. Type his jersey number down there in the comment section. And also, guys, make sure you are subscribed here to the Bulls Report. We'll keep you up to date with the latest around your favorite basketball team this whole offseason. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.